Paolo Maldini, a name that doesn't start with hype, it starts with heritage. A teenager in red and black stepping onto the San Siro grass, the son of a captain, the heir to a legacy. The hair, the poise, the calm in his eyes. No celebrations, no noise, just focus. A debut at 16, a club built on pressure, a family built on responsibility. He wasn't chasing fame, he was continuing a lineage. Every stride, every touch, every early mistake shaped him. Not into a star, but into a standard. The late 80s and early 90s weren't just a chapter in Maldini's story. They were the years that hardened him into a phenomenon. Young Paolo stepped into a Milan side built on intensity, structure, and tactical perfection under Arrigo Sacchi. The team pressed high, defended as a unit, and demanded absolute precision from every player. And yet, even in a system to expose weaknesses, Maldini looked untouchable. He wasn't just rising. He was merging flawlessly into one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Sacchi later said, Maldini was the perfect player. Tactically, technically, mentally, he had no weaknesses. This was the era when the world first realized Milan didn't just have a young fullback. They had the blueprint of the future. With each season, Maldini started growing from a promising defender into a defining one. Under Fabio Capello, his maturity accelerated. Milan became a machine, a dynasty grinding through Italy and Europe with cold efficiency, and Maldini was their elegance inside the chaos. Capello once explained, when you have Maldini, you start the match with a psychological advantage. You feel safe. While other fullbacks relied on pace or aggression, Maldini mastered timing, stepping forward, intercepting, guiding attackers into dead ends without touching them. His style wasn't aggressive, it was surgical. The world began to recognize his genius, a defender who dominated games without needing to slide, shout, or scrap. And as Milan won Scudetti, Super Cups, and European titles, Maldini wasn't just part of the success, he was the calm at the center of it. Soon, the football world couldn't ignore him. Critics called him the most elegant defender of his generation. Teammates trusted him more than space. Opponents felt the quiet pressure of his presence before he even challenged them. By his early 20s, Maldini had become a symbol of Milan's identity: discipline, beauty, intelligence. And in the middle of all the praise and trophies, something else became clear. This wasn't a player who would fade with time. This was the foundation of a leader who would carry Milan across eras, trophies, and generations. His rise wasn't explosive. It was steady, inevitable, and frighteningly consistent. By the mid-1990s, Paolo Maldini had fully transitioned from a teenage prodigy into Milan's defensive cornerstone. In 1993-94, Milan completed one of the most dominant campaigns in European football, winning the Serie A title and lifting the Champions League with a team widely regarded as one of the greatest ever. Maldini, then 25, was central to that success, commanding the backline with a composure that belied his age. He had already made over 200 appearances for the club, and his intelligence, positioning, and tactical awareness became benchmarks for defenders worldwide. Alessandro Nesta, who would later form one of the most formidable center-back partnerships with him, recalled, "Playing beside Maldini was like playing beside certainty. He made everything simple." By now, Paolo was not just participating in greatness, he was shaping it. The late 1990s and early 2000s were defined by Maldini's constant evolution. As he moved from left back to center back, he became Milan's anchor, guiding younger teammates and absorbing the increasing demands of Italian and European football. In 2003, at 35 years old, he helped Milan lift the Champions League in a final against Juventus, playing every minute with the same calm precision he displayed at 16. That same period saw domestic triumphs too. Serie A titles in 1995, 1996, and 1999, alongside multiple Supercoppa Italiana victories. Sir Alex Ferguson described him best: "Maldini is the best defender I've ever seen. He could stop attackers without making a tackle." Even as new generations of players came and went, Maldini's influence and performance never wavered. He adapted, evolved, and remained the heart of a team competing at the very highest level. Beyond trophies and titles, this era also revealed Maldini's unmatched respect across the football world. Rivals admired him as much as teammates revered him. Javier Zanetti said, "You could not hate Maldini. Even as a rival, you admired him. Pure class." He was the embodiment of Milanese elegance, combining intellect, athleticism, and leadership in a way that transcended the game. By 2007, as he lifted his fifth Champions League trophy at age 39, Maldini had become more than a player. He was a living legend, a template for defenders, and a symbol of loyalty and excellence. His career trajectory during these years wasn't just about winning matches. It was about defining what it meant to be a modern football icon, leaving a standard that few, if any, could match. But guess what? To all great stories, there's always a bad period that shapes them. Italy was respected, honored, and has always been adored by him, but unfortunately, he couldn't escape the heartbreaks. Despite dominating at Milan, lifting Serie A titles in 2004, 2004-05, and 2003, winning Champions League trophies in 2003 and 2007, and cementing his legacy as one of football's all-time greats, the World Cup repeatedly slipped from his grasp. In 1990, he was just 22, and Italy lost the semifinal at home in a penalty shootout. In 1994, he carried the Azzurri to the final, only to suffer another heartbreak against Brazil on penalties. And again in 1998, Italy fell to France in the quarterfinals, and in Euro 2000, the golden goal of France dashed his hopes once more. For all his brilliance, the ultimate international triumph remained elusive, testing the resilience of a man already defined by discipline and excellence. Even as the heartbreaks accumulated, Maldini's resolve never wavered. At Milan, he continued to defy age and expectation, becoming the anchor of a squad loaded with young talent and world-class stars. His ability to read the game, anticipate danger, and control matches allowed him to dominate Italian football well into his late 30s. By 2007, at 39 years old, he lifted his fifth Champions League trophy, playing every minute in matches where younger defenders might have faltered. Sir Alex Ferguson praised him. "Maldini is the best defender I've ever seen. He could stop attackers without making a tackle." This period was proof that greatness isn't only measured by triumphs, but by the ability to maintain excellence while facing disappointment, to rise above what many consider insurmountable challenges. What made this phase of his career legendary was not just the silverware, but the aura Maldini commanded on and off the pitch. Rivals feared him, teammates trusted him, and the football world watched in awe. Javier Zanetti reflected, "You could not hate Maldini. Even as a rival, you admired him. Pure class." He had become the embodiment of Milanese elegance, a player who combined tactical intelligence, athleticism, and unwavering professionalism. While the World Cup eluded him, the trophies, respect, and influence he amassed at club level ensured that his legacy was already untouchable. And yet, this chapter also set the stage for the final act, the part where his story would be cemented not just by achievements, but by how he inspired a generation, creating a standard that no one could easily match. Paolo Maldini retired in 2009, the number 3 shirt at AC Milan had become more than a number. It was a symbol of perfection, loyalty, and timeless excellence. Across 25 years at Milan, he had won 7 Serie A titles, 5 Champions League trophies, 5 Italian Super Cups, 4 European Super Cups, 1 Coppa Italia, 2 Intercontinental Cups, and 1 FIFA Club World Cup, achievements that solidified him as one of the most decorated defenders in history. Beyond the silverware, his name had become synonymous with intelligence, calmness under pressure, and a level of professionalism that generations would study and aspire to emulate. Gabriele Marcotti captured it perfectly. Maldini is not just a defender, he is the definition of timeless excellence. He left the pitch not just as a player, but as a standard for what modern defending should be. Even after hanging up his boots, Maldini's influence on AC Milan and world football remained profound. As a sporting director, he continued shaping the club, blending tradition with modernity, ensuring that Milan would remain competitive in Europe. His philosophy, leadership, and tactical intelligence became a blueprint for defenders worldwide. Coaches and young players looked to him as the ultimate example of discipline, positioning, and elegance. Lionel Messi once reflected on facing him. "Maldini didn't need to foul. He watched you, understood you, and took the ball." That intelligence, that ability to impose order without force, became the hallmark of his legacy, a lesson for defenders long after his playing days ended. The Maldini story also continues through his family. Daniel Maldini now carries the name at Milan, linking generations and reminding fans that the dynasty endures. Paolo's career, shaped by triumphs, heartbreaks, and unwavering professionalism, became a narrative not only of greatness, but of inspiration. From his teenage debut to the twilight of his 40-year football journey, he showed that mastery, loyalty, and intelligence can define an era. His legend isn't just in trophies won or matches played, but in the standard he set, the respect he commanded, and the generations of footballers who will look at Paolo Maldini and understand what it truly means to be timeless.